Humans are fascinating cosmic creatures, precisely because of how often we misunderstand our place in the universe. For most of our history, we assumed that existence revolved around us, that the heavens were arranged as a grand stage with Earth at its center and humanity as its audience of honor. This belief was not born from arrogance alone, but from limited perspective. When our tools were crude and our sky was small, it was natural to imagine ourselves as central. Only in the last few centuries did astronomy begin to dismantle that illusion, first by removing Earth from the center of the solar system, then by revealing that the Sun itself is just one star among hundreds of billions in the Milky Way, and finally by showing that even our galaxy is one among countless others scattered across an expanding cosmic web. Each step in this realization has been humbling, and yet our instincts still lag behind our knowledge. We continue to imagine that if something extraordinary happens in the cosmos, it must somehow be connected to us, directed at us, or meant for us. In recent decades, this instinct has found a new outlet in discussions about interstellar visitors. As we learned that there are perhaps 10 billion planetary systems in our galaxy alone, many of them billions of years older than our own, it became tempting to imagine that intelligent beings from those distant systems might one day arrive in our cosmic neighborhood, curious about Earth and its inhabitants. Popular culture amplified this idea, portraying alien visitors as explorers, observers, or conquerors whose journeys culminate here, on our small blue planet. Yet this narrative quietly assumes that we are interesting enough to warrant such attention, that our world stands out in a galaxy teeming with stars, planets, and possibilities. It assumes that the cosmic party, vast beyond comprehension, somehow revolves around our table. The reality suggested by objects like the interstellar traveler known as 3I/Atlas is far less flattering and far more enlightening. This object did not arrive with fanfare or intent. It did not slow down, change course, or signal its presence. On December 19, 2025, when it reached its closest distance to Earth, still hundreds of millions of kilometers away, it behaved exactly as an ordinary natural object would. Its path was governed by gravity and momentum, not curiosity or design. It passed by without acknowledgement, indifferent to the fact that an intelligent species was watching, measuring, speculating, and projecting meaning onto its motion. If this encounter carries a message, it is not one of insult or dismissal, but of perspective. The universe does not organize itself around us, and most things that happen within it have nothing to do with human affairs. This realization can feel uncomfortable because it runs against a deep-seated human desire for significance. Many people would prefer to believe that an interstellar object passing through our solar system must have chosen to come here, that its trajectory is a form of attention. But consider the sheer scale of the journey involved. Traveling at roughly 60 kilometers per second, 3I/Atlas has likely been drifting through the disk of the Milky Way for billions of years. Its voyage began long before Earth formed, long before the Sun ignited, long before the first cells appeared in Earth's primordial oceans. When this object set out on its path, if set out is even the right phrase, there were no humans to observe it, no civilizations to impress, no planets named or noticed. To imagine that such an ancient traveler suddenly became interested in us during the brief flicker of our existence is to misunderstand both time and scale. Our arrival on the cosmic scene was extraordinarily late. If the history of the Milky Way were compressed into a single calendar year, humans would appear only in the last few minutes before midnight on December 31st. We are newcomers who have just walked into a party that has been underway for billions of years. In that context, it would be unreasonable to expect long-standing attendees, be they stars, planets, or interstellar debris, to pause their conversations and redirect their attention toward us. The universe does not owe us acknowledgement, and it does not adjust its rhythms to suit our sense of importance. Even within our own solar system, Earth is not the main gravitational focus. Jupiter, with its immense mass, dominates the dynamics of nearby space. Objects passing through the solar system are far more influenced by Jupiter's gravity than by Earth's. From a purely physical perspective, if there is a center of attention among the planets, it is Jupiter, not us. Interstellar objects that wander into our neighborhood are shaped by the Sun's gravity first, Jupiter's second, and Earth's hardly at all. The idea that such an object would deliberately approach Earth misunderstands how these cosmic encounters actually work. Yet dismissing the notion that interstellar visitors are interested in us does not make these encounters boring or meaningless. On the contrary, objects like 3I/Atlas are scientifically priceless precisely because they are not about us. They are samples of distant regions of the galaxy, relics of planetary systems that formed around other stars under conditions we can only partially reconstruct. By studying them, we gain insights into how common certain materials are, how planets form elsewhere, and how matter evolves over cosmic timescales. Their indifference is what makes them honest messengers of the broader galaxy, unshaped by our local environment. The observations made so far hint that 3I/Atlas is anything but ordinary in its physical properties, even if its behavior is dynamically unremarkable. Amateur astronomers' images from December 19th revealed a striking feature: a long, tightly collimated anti-tail jet pointing toward the Sun, stretching roughly 1,000,000 kilometers while remaining astonishingly narrow. Such a structure has never been observed with this degree of length and focus. It challenges existing models of cometary behavior and outgassing, forcing astronomers to reconsider how material can be ejected and shaped in the harsh environment of interstellar space, and then activated during a brief passage near a star. This anomaly is a reminder that nature is often more inventive than our theories. We build models based on the objects we know best, asteroids and comets formed within our own solar system, and then we are surprised when an object forged elsewhere refuses to conform to those expectations. The anti-tail of 3I/Atlas is not evidence of intent or engineering. It is evidence of unfamiliar physics, chemistry, or structure. Explaining it will require careful observation, patient analysis, and a willingness to revise assumptions. In this way, the object is teaching us something far more valuable than flattery. It is teaching us humility and curiosity. The coming months promise richer data as 3I/Atlas continues its journey and approaches Jupiter in March 2026. This close encounter, occurring near the boundary where Jupiter's gravitational influence rivals that of the Sun, provides rare opportunity to observe how an interstellar object responds to the most massive planet in our system. Monitoring its trajectory, rotation, and activity during this period could reveal whether its unusual features are stable or transient, whether they respond to changing gravitational and thermal conditions, and whether new phenomena emerge under Jupiter's influence. There is even the tantalizing possibility of coordinating observations with spacecraft already operating in the Jovian system. Such monitoring would not be motivated by suspicion of intelligence or threat, but by the simple recognition that opportunities like this are exceedingly rare. Each interstellar visitor is a fleeting guest, passing through quickly and never to return. To learn from it, we must be attentive without being self-centered, curious without being anthropocentric. The broader lesson embedded in this encounter is not one of insignificance, but of maturity. Recognizing that we are not the center of the universe does not diminish humanity. It places us in a more accurate and, paradoxically, more meaningful context. We are a young species in an ancient galaxy, capable of understanding its own smallness and still choosing to explore, learn, and reflect. When an object like 3I/Atlas passes by without acknowledging us, it is not rejecting us. It is simply continuing a journey that began long before we existed and will continue long after we are gone. In that sense, the so-called message carried by this interstellar traveler is not insulting at all. It is an invitation to grow out of our cosmic adolescence, to stop assuming that every extraordinary event is about us, and to appreciate the universe as it is rather than as we wish it to be. We did arrive late to the party, and no one rearranged the music for our entrance. But we arrived with the ability to listen, to observe, and to understand. That, ultimately, is far more remarkable than being the center of attention.